Hey guys, Scoggins here and welcome to Scoggins Disc Golf. In today's video, we're out here at the Seneca Championship course to get ready for the Seneca Spring Fling, which is the A-tier that's happening here this weekend, March 9th and 10th. This event is sponsored by Down South Disc, who I'm happily representing in the 2024 season. And so there's some spaces left. If you guys haven't signed up already, we'd love to have you out here joining us in the event. This is one of the biggest events of the year and one that I look forward to the most each and every year because it's just such a grueling mental and physical battle, and I just love competing out here. This is one of my favorite courses in South Carolina, and it's a wonderful property. If you have not been out here, please add that to your list because I promise you'll enjoy the courses out here. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I'm going to bring you guys along today for my practice round. I'm going to see if I have all the pieces in place for how I want to attack the course this weekend, and see if there's any last minute changes as far as like disc selection and things like that on each hole. So let's go ahead and jump into it, guys, and see how we do.
All right, guys, hole one is a par 3, 334 feet. I think the backhand is probably the best play, but I have seen forehands get down there and work, but they tend to skip pretty hard on that dirt surface. So I'm just taking a DN carry Mako 3 here. Going to try and do a little hyzer flip to flat with it. Unfortunately, I left it a little nose up, but the understability of the disc is going to still allow it to get a lot of turn and glide down there, and puts me to about a 20-footer here. So we're going to go ahead and drop this birdie in. It's always nice to start your round out with a birdie, especially in an event like this where we're going to need as many birdies as we can get. Hole 2 is a par 3, 342 feet. Typically the big play here is the power forehand. I've seen a lot of guys be able to get down there for a putt. I can get to about edge of circle if I can miss all the trees, but we're going to try and just take the Firestorm here and put it on a big power flex forehand. Turned it over a little too much, and it clips a little bit of the tree line here, but we're still going to have a fairly routine up and down to secure the par. I'm taking the Nexus Invader here. This one's really beat in, and I trust this from anywhere from 150 feet and in to just nestle me right up to the basket for a nice little tap in for par. The par does say a par 4, but typically in this event it plays as a par 3, just so anyone's wondering. Hole 3 is a par 4, 475 feet. The perfect landing zone is about right here to give you a nice approach with a soft forehand into the green and try and secure the birdie. I'm taking a Halo Rock 3 here. This one is slightly beat in, so it's a little more understable than typical run of Rock 3. But I'm going to try and just put this one on a little hyzer and let it push to flat and get some ground play at the end, which it does. I did get caught up in the tree line right here, but thankfully I think that saved me from skipping long and not having an easier approach into the green. So now I'm going to just take my Champion Cayman here, put it on some hyzer, and just pop the forehand down into the green, get a nice little bit of skip here, and sets me up for a routine tap in. That one's nice to get. That one usually gets you a couple strokes on the field. Hole 4, par 4, 480 feet. You want to take, I see a forehand off the tee is the typical play, and just trying to set yourself up somewhere in the fairway. Really just trying to not go in too early because it is extremely jail on the right hand side. So I'm going to take my metal flake slap here put a lot of power on this, get some big skip at the end, and it puts me down here into the fairway. Still about 150, 200 feet out from here, so I'm taking my Nexus Invader, just trying to put it down there and not finish to the right because there's a huge drop off. Unfortunately, I put a little too much hyzer on that, and I was able to skip just outside the circle. So not really thinking I'm going to make this putt, but just happy that I did land on the left side and not the right side and get a huge roll away and then bring bogey into play. Because it's uphill, I am going to run this a little bit. There were some trees there to catch a misfire, and so thankfully that tree at the end was able to slow me down and just put me here for a nice tap in for the par. Moving on to hole 5, it is a par 3, 295 feet. Straightforward. It's just a little downhill shot. See most guys taking a mid-range or a putter off the tee here, something that's slightly understable, that you can just pop up to flat and let the natural glide bring the disc to the basket. I'm taking the Deanne Carey Mako 3 here, and I did exactly what I wanted to do. Just pop it up to flat and let the glide carry it down to the basket. I'm staring at it because I thought I was giving it an ace run, and it probably just soared a little bit to the right, but it's going to leave me with about a 15, 20 footer here, which should be fairly routine for the birdie. That's another one that feels good because there is some danger if you turn it over too much. Hole 6, par 4, 420 feet. I think a backhand or forehand is a great play off the tee here. I personally feel more comfortable with the forehand just because I can stare at the gap for the entire throwing motion, and so I'm taking the Firestorm here, which is something I know is not going to turn over and is going to get a nice late fade on the finish and set me up somewhere in the fairway on the right side there. It's exactly where I'm trying to aim so I can have a nice clear opening at the green. As you can see, landing here is like the perfect spot to be able to have an option if you want to throw a soft backhand or forehand into the green and then try and secure the birdie. I'm going with a nice touch turnover here just to land soft up right at the basket, and it's exactly what I was able to do. So just thankful to have a tap in here for a 3, because this is another one that is fairly soft to get, but it can get you a stroke on the field if you can secure it. Hole 7 is a par 3, 225 feet, downhill shot. Putter or mid-range will get you there. You don't want to land in this creek, which is easy to do. So I'm going to try and put enough power on this to get over there, but I just softed it a little too much, and I get lucky that it made it through all the trees because I turned it over a little too much. So I did find the OB and taking it where it went out. Typically in the tournament, there will be a drop zone, which is a little further back from where I am, but since I was just playing a casual round, getting ready for the tournament, I'm taking it where it went out. Which essentially didn't matter because I missed the putt anyway. So we're going to walk across the bridge over here and just tap in for the bogey. Hole 8, one of my favorite holes on the course, par 4, 500 feet. You want to set up yourself to about right here for the landing spot to be able to have a nice approach into the green and set up the easy birdie. But there's a lot of trees in the fairway and not really a defined gap, so you have to really trust the shot. I'm going with the S-Line Faro here and just going to trust a full push and hyzer shot down the right side of the fairway. Cleared all the trees and was able to secure one of my best drives I've ever had on this hole, so I was stoked for that. Leaving myself about 100 to 125 foot approach shot into the green here. Again, taking the Nexus Invader, which is what I do on every approach shot if I'm within this range. I'm going to give it a soft bid. Turned over a little too much, but thankfully was able to sit soft on the green and sets up about a 5-footer for the birdie. Moving on over to hole 9, we've got a downhill par 3, it's 272 feet. The favorite play here is probably a forehand. I'm going to take a understable mid-range Wombat 3 and try to force it over. The natural understability of that disc typically lets it hyzer flip to turn late. Unfortunately, I caught a little bit of a low-hanging limb there, which didn't allow it to turn over. So I'm at the edge of circle here. Run the putt, felt good about it, but it was just a little too much hyzer and dropped. But I'll be right up there for a nice 3. After 9, we're sitting at 4 down, so feeling pretty good about the score so far. Moving into hole 10, we got a par 5, 605 feet. This is a pretty attackable hole. You can see guys getting the eagle here if they have a good drive off the tee. But if you misstep your drive, you can get into some OB situations pretty quickly. I'm electing to go with the forehand here. I'm taking a Firestorm and just doing a full power send with it to let it turn over here in the flight. I didn't turn it quite enough, and I was bringing in OB to play. I thought I was going to get into the creek, but as you can see, I was just about a foot or two short. So I'm going with a Wombat 3 here on a big turnover to hopefully make some push down the fairway to set me up for another shorter approach shot and hopefully just be able to secure the easy birdie. Going the Nexus Invader here. I'm elected for the turnover shot because I don't want to do the hyzer play and hit one of these trees and roll into the creek. So I elected for that shot, which left me a little short 10-footer here, and we're able to secure the birdie. Hole 11 is a par 3, 195 feet, and while it's 195 feet, it's severely uphill, so you're going to have to take something a little more stable and put a lot of power behind it and hopefully get the skip up to the basket. I'm taking a metal flake slab here, which I know is never going to turn over, so I can put my full power behind the forehand and let it just slide right up to the basket. Felt great out of the hand, but clipped a late tree here, which left me at about 40 feet. The circle tassel is just in front of me to the right, so it left me about 40, 45 feet here. So we're going to try and see if we can drain this one. And we secured it. I was really happy about that putt, especially with the severe uphill of it. Hole 12, par 3, 280 feet. This one's just straight ahead tunnel shot, classic South Carolina tunnel shot. I'm going with a DN Carry Mako 3 here. I'm just going to let it push straight and hopefully get to a birdie look. Unfortunately, it was nose up and turned over, and I'm just shocked that it's continuing to still fly and didn't hit anything. Obviously landed in a terrible spot over here to the right, and I'm just going to try and find some window to punch through to try and get up there to secure a par, which I was able to do with the Nexus Invader, and going to sit up here with, I think, about a 5-footer, just something to tap in to save the par. All right, guys, moving on to hole 13. We have a par 4, 490 feet. The typical play off the tee is going to be a forehand, which is going to allow you to be able to land in this landing zone right here to the right, and so you can ensure that you don't miss the Mando, which is on the left, that we just flew past. I'm going to take a forehand in this video with a Cayman, but my play in the tournament is actually going to be a backhand turnover. As you can see, I pushed the forehand here, but it fades out a little early and is going to leave me with a very tricky lie right here, which is why I want to elect for the backhand, something that'll push a little further down the fairway and allow me to be able to have an easier approach into the green than what I left myself with here. I'm looking through the different gaps that I have, the different options, what's going to leave me the biggest percentage for getting something to push down the fairway. So I'm taking this Nexus Invader on a wide turnover angle. I know this disc is going to naturally turn to the right, and so I was able to push it and get down the fairway a good bit. It did hold that turn angle, which pushed me on the right side here a little further than I would have liked. I would have liked to have some of the fade pull it out and get a little closer to the basket, so I'm just going to lay up here and tap in for the par. Moving on to hole 14, we have a par 3, 245 feet. This is just a standard hyzer shot. I'm going to take a putter off the tee here. I'm going to use my Halo Invader, just put it on a nice hyzer angle. I know it'll flip up to flat a little bit at the middle portion of the flight, and the glide of the disc will naturally carry it down to the basket. Was able to miss some of the trees here on the right and get down here with about a 20-footer or so. I'm going to have to straddle out here a little bit just to avoid this tree on the left, but it's a close enough range to be able to drop it in for the 2. And moving on over to hole 15, we have a par 3, 185 feet. The hole naturally just bends to the right and is nestled up here on a little ridgeway. I'm going to take a Firebird here. I'm disking up because I don't want to have to focus on the angle of the disc. I want to just focus on the gap. So what I'm going to do is take a Firebird and put it flat and let it get a little bit of skip off of the ground here and push straight up to the basket, which should leave me about a 10-foot putt for an easy birdie, and that'll be the typical play you'll see most of the field take here is the forehand shot. All right, hole 16 is a par 5. It's further than 600 feet because we're not going to play from the blue pad. We're actually playing from a longer gold tee pad. And so as you can see, the hole is very demanding. It's uphill and there's a lot of trees in the way, and there's a creek running through the fairway which can bring some OB into play off the tee. So what I'm going to elect to do here in this video is just take my Halo Invader and just do a soft layup into the middle of the fairway here, and then I'm going to try and get aggressive from that spot. If I need to push and try and go for the eagle, I'll take a a S-Blend Faro and try and do an aggressive shot off the tee, but I just wanted to practice this layup for the video. My second shot here is where I'm going to try and get aggressive. I'm taking a Firestorm and I'm going to try and do a force over with the forehand and push up the fairway and try and get some fade to the right hand side, which should leave a nice approach into the green. I turned it over a little too much, and so it didn't have time to fight out, and so I'm going to get caught up over in this left side of the rough, and so I'm trying to find a window here. I want to get aggressive and try and get up to the green, but it's just too tight, so I'm just going to elect to lay up over here and then try and save the par moving forward. So I'm going to just take the Nexus Invader again and put a soft backhand up to the green and try and set up a short putt so that I can save the par. We executed it pretty well, and now I'm going to be left with a short 15-footer to save the par. This tree is just right in my swing, but I'm going to just try and straddle out here a little bit to the left side and tap in for the par. Moving on to hole 17, we have a par 3, It is a 212-foot shot, just straight ahead, little bit of elevation change, but this is a pretty straightforward shot. I'm going to elect to go with a Halo Invader, put it up on a little bit of hyzer to this right side and just let the glide of the disc naturally carry it to the basket. Disc flipped up perfectly through the gap and was able to set up a very short putt for easy 2. That one felt nice to get. And I think we're sitting at 9 down now. So we're gonna head into hole 18, which is a par 5, 624 feet. In the tournament, I think it'll play as a par 4, but for the purposes of this video, we're just gonna keep it as a par 5. I'm gonna elect to go with a very late fading shot here off the tee. I'm taking the S-Line Faro. I'm gonna do a backhand hyzer flip and just hopefully it'll push and then get some late fade at the end. Felt like this was just the best drive of my life, but it just pushed slightly too straight and clipped a tree and put me into the thick side of the trees here, and it's not going to leave me any approach into the green. I'm going to try and get aggressive with a Wombat 3 here and let it try and glide as much as I can down the fairway, but I clipped the edge of this tree and the frustration sets in because I know you cannot par or bogey this hole. You have got to attack and get the birdie here. So now I'm set up again for another scramble shot. I'm taking a Halo Sidewinder here and just gonna force it over and try to get something up near the basket. It missed every tree possible and was able to push long in the basket. I've got about a 70-footer here, so I'm just gonna throw this up there. Gave it a soft bid and gonna leave myself with a tap-in par.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up my round out here on the Seneca Championship course. Overall, I feel like I played really well. I attacked the course well. A lot of my shot selections are right where I want them to be. I do feel like there's a few places I could attack a little bit better, maybe make some better disc selections or shot shape selections. But overall, I'm very happy with where my game is right now. I'm not exactly sure what I finished score-wise. I'm going to add all that up after I get back to the truck and just kind of see where I landed as far as the score. So I'll put that scorecard up on the screen. Again, guys, if you haven't liked and subscribed already, please do so. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. And if you're competing out here this weekend, I want to wish all you guys good luck. And I hope this video can help you guys in prepping for your own game plan and help give you a good overview of what the course looks like and what to expect this weekend. So again, good luck, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.